Alrighty, we're back with game number 3 of the semifinals 2025 GHSA State Championship. This is the Walton versus Northview. Walton got game number 1. Northview got it back on game number 2. So here we are in game number 3. My name is Crawley, and I'm here with Coda. He's a former player with at Calhoun with me. So we're gonna jump in together. Let's get it started.
Yeah, I was wondering if I had to say anything for the introduction.
No, not in particular. It's not super formal. But let me go ahead and get things set up here. So I'm gonna get rid of the time controls because that kind of spoils it a little bit. Get rid of the chat. Put up the scoreboard.
No, put the chat back on. It shows pings.
It does. It actually shows things they say, but I think they're both pretty.
Wait, it shows what they say?
I don't think anybody's
I thought it only shows ping.
I don't think anybody's BM, but it does show their chats because they had some technical issues at one point, but. So we were talking about the draft a little bit. So we unfortunately can't see the draft order because it was done in third party. But some interesting picks here. I'll let you kick it off with anything that catches your eye.
Yeah, so I was noticing it was Yasuo Nautilus on the bot lane, but it looks like that Talia and Yasuo are swapping lanes here. So is their mid laner? Is it just Is it just not in the right spot, or is Yasuo and Talia deciding to swap lanes here?
So there has been some weird things. I'll give you a little bit of context. So basically, like in game 1, Walton, and first of all, Walton is going to be red side here, and Northview is going to be blue side. Hold that thought. We might get a little bit of a level 1 scrap here. So basically, Walton, who is red side now, their mid laner chose Yone in game 1 and basically carried with it. And so on the Northview side, T5 Venom, who's on Yasuo now, he's known as like a master AD carry and a Xayah player, but so in game 2, he decided to take the Yone away and flex to mid lane to go against Walton's mid laner, and he basically carried on Yone. So now the Yone is going back to Walton again, but that does mean that T5 Venom is going back to bot lane, or actually no, he is going mid lane again, this time on Yasuo, which as we know is a little bit of a counter to Ahri. So that's interesting.
Does that mean that their mid laner and ADC are interchangeable?
Well, yeah. I mean, just like yeah. It's not it's not like pros, so it's much more. You can kind of just switch around if you want to.
Yeah, I was just curious about who like if the UI was just not showing who's in the right spot or what.
Yeah, I don't know what actually controls that. It does get a bit confusing if there's lane swaps. Hold that thought. Might get a level 2 kill here. But yeah, it does. It's a little confusing because obviously he also is mid, but it shows his picture as the AD carry position. Which, like I said, T5 Venom is technically their AD carry, but he decided to flex mid to go against, I believe, Min is the.
I am more shocked in that
Whoa, that was weird.
Talia decided to go bot here instead of the Yasuo because Yasuo could easily hard stomp that bot lane by countering the entire Ezreal kit, and Talia also is pretty solid into Ahri. She has good wave clear, and she can completely shut down Ahri's dashes when post 6.
Like I said, too, that is one of the very interesting factors about obviously the high school play is like you're assuming like if you were watching this game and you assumed everyone was Emerald or everyone was Diamond, that would be a more relevant thought. But like the idea here is the rank distributions are a little bit off, and like they said in game 1, Min, the red side AD carry for Walton did really good. So basically. Therefore, the blue side Northview AD carry said, actually, I should go mid to face against that person to help, because I don't know that Walton, or I'm sorry, I don't know that Northview's mid lane got like stomped necessarily, but obviously you're just trying to, if you have an opportunity to put your best player up against their best player to like help neutralize the threat, that's kind of the idea, I think.
I would agree with that if this was top lane and mid lane, because top lane can push a lead, get a lead, and have a lead the entire game. But we're talking about ADC and mid lane here.
Right.
If he was bot lane, he would get double the gold from kills because he is playing Yasuo into a all projectile champion.
Right.
And also he could deny Rakan heal. So I would say here that Yasuo going mid, it's good into Ahri, but I would say that Yasuo should have stayed bot with the Nautilus because Nautilus has forms of knockups.
Yeah.
And also they both have very good engage together.
Right.
But now that Yasuo is mid, Yasuo's got to rely on his own knockups to hit his ult.
Right. Yeah.
It's also fine.
That's a good point.
When it comes down to it, I think if we wanted the best chance here, I would say Yasuo should have been bot, but they probably want to like soften like gold towards their mid laner.
Right.
And because it is an Ahri, and if Ahri gets resets, that is very dangerous in a team fight.
Yep. Yeah, that is definitely an interesting consideration. Ezreal and the Rakan are fairly safe, but yeah, I mean, there definitely is a play. The Nautilus does have. I think that Yasuo can actually go in off of the Nautilus Q as well as his ult, so there's some synergy there. But yeah, I'm sure there was a lot of consideration that went into it. You do have the kind of the lane counter with the mid, plus that's what they did before, so I could definitely see either case, but they ended up going this direction, so we'll see if they stick with it. They might decide to.
I am just really interested to see this Yasuo and Yone pick, because usually in like matches like this that are like sort of pro scene,
Right.
you wouldn't see these type of picks, and I enjoy Yasuo and Yone very much because they're very flashy characters.
Right.
But I want to see how they execute these champions to their fullest potential here.
Oh, we do have a Rakan roam mid with the Silas showing up too. We get an exhaust on the Yasuo, but it looks like he might be able to get out here. Nice windmill for the REQ. I don't know if it was her charm or her Q. Either way, Yasuo makes it out. Nice job there. Yeah, going back to your point, I mean, yeah, so we did see the Yasuo and the Yone last game. Obviously, like the Yone's basically popped off in both games on different teams. Hold that thought. We may get first blood here. We get a flash from the Rakan and jumps to safety. We did see the Yone and Yasuo last game, and obviously I brought up a point. Champions like that are very flashy, and they are known to be very feast or famine. So the Yone was feasting, but the Yasuo was famining. So we'll see what happens this game.
When it comes down to it, for Yasuo and Yone, at this very moment, the champions aren't in a very good spot because their items are really awkward build paths. You can build Bork on them, but in games like this, where there's not really a good HP stacker to build Bork into, I would highly suggest that the Yasuo and Yone decide to both not build Bork this game and go straight into Yuntal, even though that 1300 buy is very difficult for to achieve on the first back.
Yeah, I don't remember what items they built first game, so that's very interesting to consider the itemization there. Looks like First Dragon did go over to Northview here. It wasn't really contested. Oh, another thing I like to see, I love to see the Gnar. You don't see Gnar quite as much these days, but I do love to see a Gnar, very flexible champion. He can probably struggle a little bit against the Yone when he's in his mini form, but we do know, like, as the game goes on, we got Gnar knockups, we got Jarvan knockups, and there's first blood. Like I said, yeah.
The Yone going for the Q flash into R, insta perma CC.
Yeah, we've seen some clean Yone combos and clean Yone plays on both sides. I believe in game one, he hit the Walton mid lane hit like multiple three-man ults, maybe a four-man. Get a Nautilus Q there. Ezreal E, very nice to help get out of that. I don't know what Ezreal E is considered. It's not considered like unstoppable, but it's almost like an uninterruptible. Very safe.
His casting, if you cast at the right time, you can buffer almost all CCs with it.
Yeah.
Except for the obvious like hooks and stuff, because even if you buffer a hook, besides Blitzcrank hook, because it's absolutely flawed as a design, all the other hooks don't
take
really
notes,
get
right?
By it.
Yeah, it is. It's just one of those very interesting interactions because, like, you mentioned the word buffer because, like, it's not like a total like you can't totally dodge. Like, it still like kind of lands sort of, but it's like a weird interaction where like it kind of CCs you, but it doesn't. So yeah, then that combo in particular is interesting.
Yeah, but if this Ezreal tries to buffer the Nautilus hook, it's gonna still pull the Nautilus a little bit closer enough to where you can pop ult and then walk up and auto attack him. So
I think I've got
when it comes down to it.
I was just gonna say I think I've got a replay somewhere where like a Nautilus hook hit me as an Ezreal and like the hitbox was like way off, but it still registered. It's just like one of those rare times that it happens.
That's like one of those terms called like lollipopping or something like that.
Oh wow, 4 people bot lane here to get the shutdown. Well, I guess it's not even a shutdown because he didn't even have a bounty, but 4 people top just to send a message. Send a message to Kanata, and I just realized too about that because like it's been 3 different players that have played the Yone. First it was it was the Walton mid laner, then it was T5 Venom, and now it's actually Kanata playing the Yone. So that's very interesting.
I'm surprised to hear that because Yone is not a very popular champ at this very moment. His pick rate's very low. His win rate's also diminished because of all of his items got nerfed.
Yeah.
Next season, I do expect Yone and Yasuo to be picked a little bit more due to some of the new crit items that they might like. Like I could totally see the new ulti haste item for Yone. It gives because it gives 3 true damage auto attacks too. If the autos would guarantee crit, so I could definitely see that as a good first item for Yone next season.
Yeah, I think one of the things I like about like the high school league in particular is that like when it comes to like the meta that you might think about for solo queue or for pros, it's not quite always relevant here. They can always pull out different pocket picks, they can different comfort picks just based on the composition, and of course, like I said, based on their different levels. So it's really cool to see unique champions.
I just know if I was in here, I'd pull out my pocket pick Briar support and absolutely kick. No,
and that's why you never made it. That's why we never made it.
Well, I did climb the Diamond 4 with Briar support, so I do think it's viable.
You should have just done it. You should have done it like 2 or 3 years earlier, and you'd be here.
Well, I only started playing League about 2-3 years.
That's true.
Earlier.
That's true. That's another interesting thing about high school is, yeah, a lot of these players are kind of like, they just get really good really quick. But on the other hand, though, a lot of them start playing in middle school. Like, I look at some of that when I was looking up some of their accounts, like they've been playing for, you know, I'm sure they're juniors or seniors, and they've been playing for 5+ years. So that's, you know, that's kind of wild.
I think I'm coming up on my 5th year of playing League. But it's kind of slowly dwindled down for me. Like, League wasn't introducing anything totally new for the most part until recently, and I'm most excited for this next season because it's going to change a lot of things, and I like a bunch of the changes, especially the role quest for every lane.
Absolutely. Looking back at this, I noticed that he also has almost like a 40 CS lead. So
yeah, Yasuo's smurfing this mid lane right
now.
Yeah, there goes Ari just popped Art here, and Yasuo's looking for an engage. He gets the knockup, pops Art, and gets the kill on the Ari.
I was thinking Jarvan didn't get the assist there.
I'm most worried about this top lane matchup because Gnar into Yone is not very favorable for Gnar. The Gnar player usually would lose this matchup.
Oh man.
So that gank, the 4-man top earlier was honestly, I think a very good play. It put Gnar in a comfortable spot to back and get a push in, so he could get his plated steel caps and actually play the lane. Because when it comes down to Yar versus Yone, especially since Yone has fleet footwork, all the Gnar's poke is kind of meaningless. So it's all looking for an all-in, but from both sides. I see that the Yone is going for Bork here. I personally would say he should go Yuntal in this game, but Bork could give him that lane sustain he needs for this the side laning.
Yeah, in the meantime, we see Dragon number 2 going over to Northview. And yeah, I will say on the note before, I mean, yeah, that's the interesting thing about Nora, obviously, like, because of his 2 forms. Like, when he's in his mini form, he is definitely more vulnerable to the Yone, but when he goes, like, in his max form, he can potentially all in, like we just saw. He almost got a kill. Yone did a nice job of kind of evading and getting out there. And may have another pick.
Off by the Ezra.
Yep.
Ezra's got E4.
Got an exhaust, an ult. Ult doesn't do that much damage, surprisingly. Maybe there was a shield or something that like came up at the same time.
When I'm looking at these 2 drafts, I personally think the entire game is going to come down to whether this Taliyah absolutely smurfs this game or not. Because Taliyah shuts down relatively for their champion. She's very good at stopping Rakan from engage. She's very good at stopping Silas and Yone from also going in. She has a bunch of utility to also help with side lane picks too here. Oh, Yasuo got the knockup.
Misses a Q. Jarvan's here.
Here comes J4.
Flash ult.
Cataclysm.
Ari ult. Ari flash.
And Ari flashed away.
Yep. We saw another similar trade in the top lane. Whenever Gnar goes mega form, he is definitely putting the hurt down on the Yone, but Yone is still able to get out there, still able to keep things pretty even.
Another crazy thing to look at blue side's comp here is that they have Gnar, J4, and Taliyah, which all 3 of them do pair up really well, giving Gnar more terrain to ult off of.
Yeah, I just realized too, like that. I totally forgot. Taliyah can knock up as well, so Yasuo, basically all 5 of them have knockups that the Yasuo can wombo into, and then yeah, that's a good point too. That
on top
2 of
the
them,
fact that they have more terrain for Gnar to knock them into.
Yeah, double terrain for that. So that's a really beautiful comp there. Yeah, as far as synergy goes.
I would say it is beautiful for the most part, but my only issue with this comp is it's lacking range. I think the lack of range could be an issue later because they do have an Ezreal Ari, which can lead to a bunch of, like, if they go for any objectives, they could be poked out, and it leads to a bunch of, like, uncomfortable situations.
Yeah, I will say.
Yasuo and Yone built Bork, are going for Bork this game.
So last game, Walton was on blue side, and they had a very a short-range comp. Xayah was the only range, and they did have a hard time defending against sieges and stuff. So we got another scrap top lane. Runs out of Mega Gnar. And Nautilus roaming top. Jarvan coming top as well. Maybe looking for a dive. Ooh, a flash Q does land. And they do pick it up. Feats of Warfare going over to Northview. And
Nar securing the kill there is very good for the blue side, because if Nar needs to pick up a little bit more gold here so he can actually get to his item spikes, because if he gets Black Cleaver earlier, his Yasuo and J4 can put more effort towards building higher priority options here instead of them building armor pin themselves.
wow. The nice little backwards wall to block the Q coming back. I think that was what that was. Yeah, I'm actually surprised.
Yasuo's playing excellently, in my opinion. I think he is doing everything in his power. He might gonna pick up another kill here, but he flashed away because Silas was there.
Yeah, I mean, solo Q rank is not everything, but T5 Venom is a master player, so that definitely shows. Gnar able to take down the top tower. I was about to say, you said Black Cleaver, but I was like, I wonder if the Gnar is actually going Trinity Force. I know I prefer Trinity Force, and we do see the Gnar pick up the Trinity. Gives a little bit more advantage to the mini Gnar form.
The reason why Gnar likes Triforce the most, Triforce so much, is because the Sheen proc scales with 200 base AD,
right,
which Mega Gnar has the highest base AD in the entire game, making Triforce deal probably one of his highest damage outputs, he possibly could get on a first buy.
Yeah, I was surprised how much damage the Gnar was able to do even without the full item, just with the Phage. So, yeah, that Gnar is definitely going to be a force to be reckoned with now that he's come across that first item. And we do see first items pretty much coming down across the board here. So,
you also can't ignore the fact that Gnar has played Steel Caps and Yone has Borg, which Borg does physical on-hit damage, which gets negated by the plated Steel Caps, which personally is why I wouldn't build the Borg this game, especially into your solo laner who has the plated Steel Caps. I think Yone would have an easier time against this Gnar if he decided to build crit first. Yeah,
I do wonder how the dynamic in the top lane might change now that the tower has gone, or either one. It doesn't look like either one of them are necessarily shying away from the matchup, but they do have to be a little bit more careful now that they're a little bit more, especially mini Gnar has to be a little bit more vulnerable if he pushes up too far.
Well, the thing is, the entire top side of the map is completely dark for blue side until just now. He warded the tri-bush, giving him a little bit of vision for the see the Silas, but Silas is clearing downwards, and they probably got that info off the first clear. But Silas has been clearing downwards the entire game. So right now that Silas is bot, this Gnar has free range to split here, go tier 2, probably secure this free tier 2 here.
We do have Dragon number 3 coming up.
Nice 700 gold.
Yeah, we do have bounties, several bounties on the Northview side. We do have Dragon number 3 coming up. Right now, Walton is kind of in the advantageous position, but we do have the Gnar coming in for the teleport, potentially a flank, and there goes the engage. We do see a Wombo. Yasuo goes in. There's a nice Jarvan ult as well. Everybody in the middle. Yasuo still doing a lot of work here. And it looks like 3 from Walton have dropped, and they are chasing the Ezreal away as well. We'll see if they can get the dive here. Probably no problem there with the Yone, with the Yasuo. And one more. See if Ari can get out here. Not enough. So that is a 1 for 5 in favor of Northview. Beautifully done with the Northview. We did talk about the synergy of their comp earlier, and we get to see it in action.
I feel like this game is swinging too hard for the synergy that Northview has on their comp with the Yasuo, Talia, and J4, plus with the Gnar. I think their synergy with their comp and the lead that they have, I think this game is pretty much in the bag unless the red side decides to pick it up from here and absolutely make an insane comeback from this situation.
So I'm going to make the mini-map a little bit smaller. I'm gonna back up and see this fight. This might be one of the most pivotal fights in the game here, because what you were talking about, one of the strengths of the Ahri and the Ezreal, the range, is that they get to they can maybe show up to the objective first and try to poke out the enemy team. So let's see if they're able to do that here. So yeah, I think not. They were kind of trying to establish themselves here and kind of do that, but I guess since they're red side, they kind of end up backing off here. The Gnar finds a good ward for that Gnar teleport definitely scares them out of that position. They decide to retreat, and a nice Nautilus hook here to get things started. So Rakan engages, Jarvan engages. We just get a big wombo here in the middle. That's where Yasuo wants to be. We get a Yone ult.
I think Gnar being here is kind of irrelevant. I think the Gnar should have at least pushed one more wave, threatened the split push for the tier 2. So, because I feel like this play would have happened without him.
Right.
But
it's hard to know,
as you
though.
said, it did scare him. to scare them to back up. So it might have not happened without him. So
It's worth noting too that like they're up, like Northview's already up by like 4K gold before this fight even happens, and then they obviously the Silas pretty much gets picked at the beginning. The fight's like fairly even at this point. So they managed to get the Yone jumped in with his ult, but he does get picked up. He's just kind of weak, I guess. He was already like 1-3 or 1-2. Nautilus goes down. Pretty much the fight's like
Ezreal in the back.
So it's a 2-for-1 at this point, and then Ari was already chunked out and low. Ezreal flashes. So I mean, the fight's already kind of over at this point. 3-for-1.
Yeah, it looks like Nara only got a single Q off this entire fight until right here.
Yep.
He helped secure this final kill right here.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it was just. I feel like both teams were able to like execute and really kind of get like decent value out of their abilities. But I think it's probably just like the fact that Northview was kind of coming in already with a bit of an advantage with 2 dragons and several kills and like 4K in gold. So
back it up 15 seconds and let's go to this Talia. Watch this Talia absolutely put an E under this Ari so she can't dash away.
Nice
and then
job.
flash her last Q shot into the Ari, getting the ace down.
That was pretty clean. Yeah, that's what I love about team fights. You can definitely go back and watch it at least 10 times. You can focus on each player and see what they did. But we'll leave it there for now. So they do pick up the dragon. And let's go and get the scoreboard and everything back up here.
Personally, I say the Gnar should have stayed top for one more wave and then threaten the TP. Because he's not getting any damage on that tier 2 top side, which could, like, I mean, they're already so far ahead, but it's still always better to be further ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things, like, it could definitely backfire, though. Like, if you don't show up and your team, like, loses, and then all of a sudden, like, yeah, it's definitely, like, feels like it's your fault. So, you know, I get it. Unless you're, like, super confident that your team's going to win the 4v5, you know, well, even as a split pusher, it's good to show up.
The only reason his team got the confidence to go in there is due to the fact that he was TPing. So I think he should have threatened the split push, got the guaranteed play, get the tier 2, or at least half the tier 2, then TP. Because there's no way the red team's starting Dragon here when they're about, what, 6K gold behind? I would assume that red would decide to hold off and wait and see who makes the first move.
Yeah.
Because if blue made the wrong move there and they went in without the TP and the Gnar couldn't follow up, which he wasn't needed.
Wow. Shut down on Talia.
It could have been a real issue for blue side, but blue was holding patient until the Gnar TP. So Gnar was the engager of that fight because he TP'd and scared them out of the pit, causing the Silas get hooked by the Nautilus hook, leading to that team fight going down into a 1v5 ace. Oh,
now Gnar is putting in the work, chasing us already down. And just as a reminder for everyone, blue side is going to be Northview and red side is going to be Walton. But you have a good point too, though. But again, if Gnar hadn't teleported, like in red, Walton may have just continued to poke with Ezreal and Ari, but at least that gave them a way to kind of force the fight. So
right.
Yeah, definitely could have gone either way there. We do have some big bounties stacking up.
I feel like Talia could have trapped the Silas into the pit by himself and let the J4 and Yasuo hop into the pit with the Silas and 1v2 him, kill him, get the free pick. They should then the Gnar could have got tier 2 1K gold. Sure, it probably wouldn't have led to the ace right there, because after the Silas would have been picked off there, it could have the red side would have probably backed off.
We do have an Atacon, but no contest it looks like. So Northview going to pretty much pick that up for free. Yeah, I like how critical you are. I just came up with a good a good caster name for you. Now you have Captain Flowers. You could be Captain Hindsight. I love it. He like, well, let's go to the analyst desk and see what they could have done. Let's go ahead. Can someone simulate a replay? Can we simulate what would have happened? What could have happened there?
Can we get a simulation up in here?
Wouldn't that be crazy? I'm sure someone could do that. Like it's like a league replay that could simulate it.
I would love to be the hindsight person. Because
nope.
When you think about it, there was probably 200 ways to play that fight. Like it could have gone so many different ways. We got that.
So Harold crashed into the top tower. Jarvan managed to pick up the Ari, and I think Northview is going to leave it at that. Probably going to reset.
Red side's all congregating towards top side because that blue side got tier 2 here, while Yasuo and Yone look like they're having a staring contest spot lane. I think Yasuo is probably going to look for something. Nope, Yasuo's recalled. Probably had a bunch of gold in his pocket. I wasn't paying attention to what he bought. He probably spent that 1,300 on the BF sword, getting ready to buy his IE, which leads to his 3-item power spike, making him extremely strong, an extreme threat on the map. I'm just wondering what his next item is going to be. Is he going to build more crit even though he won't need it, or is he going to go into a more bruisery build so he can survive these team fights for a little bit longer? Even though he could just snowball straight into damage, which is something that sounds like I would do.
Yeah, I mean, either way it could be fine because like his team is pretty strong, a lot of CC, a lot of wombo, so he could just go damage and be fine. But I mean, I know personally, I like to be a little bit more of a bruiser, just in case. But yeah,
I like Yasuo and Yone, but the issue with these two champions at the moment is they are very snowbally. Like, even if they get really far ahead, they don't really build defensive options. Their defensive option is shield bow, which is an extra 500 health shield, which is very good in the saving from at least one person. God.
Nice Gnar ultimate. Wow, that was beautifully done by the Gnar. Like, I guess they had
timing could not have been any
surely
better.
Surely the Gnar had vision there to know that the Yone was about to jump over the wall.
Here comes J4. He's going to go for a Cataclysm here. J4 secures the kill onto the Rakan. And then Talia picks up the double on Silas and Ari there.
Yeah, we got a 0 for 4 in favor of Northview, followed by the Rammus OK emote from the Gnar. Just kind of adding insult to injury at this point. They're up by 10k. They got three dragons.
Gnar.
Okay.
Gnar over here failing his jump over the wall.
Oh, and they're just diving under towers. So I have a feeling that this game probably is not going to go to 45 minutes like the other one is. This has been a little bit of a one-sided. Let's see if Walton can maybe do anything. It is game 3. I know they don't want to just give it up without a fight here. So let's see if they can maybe figure something out.
I see that the J4 and the Gnar both build Black Cleaver. I think that's a little unnecessary at a certain extent. I think the J4 could have got with building more of a maybe Death Stance or more tankier here, so he can snowball his lead a little bit better. But the Cleaver does help if he's not near the Gnar at all.
So that is Dragon Soul uncontested for Northview. It is an Earth Soul, so it's going to make him extra tanky. Going to have extra shield. It's going to be really tough. Really tough for Walton.
J4 gets extremely tanky here after he gets Sterax, but I don't think this game's going to go to third item for the J4. But Yasuo over here walking onto the field with triple item. He has IE, Bork, and Shield Bow right now. He's a real threat. Anyone he comes across will probably get one-shotted at the moment.
Yeah, I would say it is definitely going to be hard to play from behind on Walton's comp. Oh, nowhere far to go.
Oh, she ulted straight into the Nautilus, but she's going to flash over the wall here, try to get away. Here comes J4 Cataclysm, and it's going to go straight to Talia. I think the Talia was the best pick here. Talia fits their comp really well. She helps with side lane pick. She just fits their comp extremely well. I think Nautilus is a little far up here. He might get picked off, but Talia's going to come save him with the Yasuo ult. Here comes Nautilus ult going in. Yasuo win wall. Talia picks up the kill here.
Man, it is not enough. It is just unfortunately not enough. They pretty much would need a miracle.
Dragon Soul save our boy Nautilus here. He's a little low.
As well as the team backing him up. Let's see, they got about 20-second cooldown and all 5 members up. They're probably going to go for the win here. Somebody's even got a bone plate, or what's it called? The Tower Destroyer room. Yeah,
there goes for Yasuo. He gets the Ezreal here. Then who jumped in there? Was that Ari?
It looks like that is going to be enough. So a very dominant performance by Northview to take Game 3 and to take the semifinal series here to advance to the finals. We will be covering the other semifinal games and the final games to come, but a good way to close out that series for Northview. Unfortunate for Walton, but they started the series strong. They put up a good fight. Just couldn't deliver in Game 3. Any closing thoughts on that one from your side?
I was really excited to see the Yasuo, Talia, and Yone pick, because you don't see Yasuo too frequently, nor Yone in these type of games, especially this season in general. I enjoyed the watch. The Yasuo played that extremely well. He got a bunch of early picks on the Ari under tower, especially, and then proceeded for that 4-man roam top to help stop that Yone from snowballing harder after Yone got a single kill up top side, which did probably save Gnar's lane. Because Gnar is not typically very good into Yone, so when it comes down to it, I think the early game went straight into Yasuo's hands, and it just led to this victory the way it is now.
Yeah, I would say that T5 Venom probably the MVP for the whole series, as well as potentially this game as well. Very impressed, like to go from being, you're known as a master AD carry, really good on Zaya. That's why Walton took the Zaya away. But not only did Venom show that they could play other champions, but to show that they could play other roles, and not only play other champions, but be dominant on other champions. Step up to that mid lane matchup and just have a dominant performance and just kind of carry his team through the rest of the series. So a great job adapting there, a great job drafting, a lot of confidence, and yeah, just good performances all around on really on both sides. So really good stuff. Exciting to see.
Also, the Talia did a very good job. The Talia pick here was it was very good in my opinion, because Talia can shut down 4 of their champions very well, and she also has the capability of, again, as I said earlier, she could get the side lane picks with her team when Gnar is side laning or Yasuo is side laning. Talia was probably probably one of the best picks here in my opinion.
Yeah, I think picks like that definitely do really well at high elo. Like picks like Ash or Bard that can like really set up some like long range engage plays. So yeah, again you got the terrain synergy as well. So yeah, I would have loved to see how the draft played out. We'll definitely try to get a hold of that in a future series, but it definitely came together well for them. So alrighty, good deal. I guess we will close it out there for now, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.